The word insecurity is being thrown around towards men, but what does it really mean? This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. Today I'm going to talk to you about the real meaning of being insecure because it has such a negative connotation, but in actuality, it is a blessing to be insecure. And here's what I mean. You see, most people associate insecurity with a lack of confidence, a lack of certainty, which is true. But the whole thing is you can never be certain about everything. You can never know everything. And anyone who claims to is full of shit because it's impossible to know everything. You can have an opinion about everything and be certain in your opinion and certainly sound secure in what you believe in and speak with conviction and come across as secure. But in actuality, the experience of being insecure is actually unconscious. Being insecure is not a matter of not trusting your girlfriend. That's not what being insecure is. Being insecure is actually being comfortable not knowing. Being comfortable in the uncertainty. You certainly cannot know everything that's going to happen next. You can't know what's around every single corner all of the time. You don't know what's going to happen until tomorrow comes. And that gives life a sense of adventure, a sense of play, a sense of spontaneity. Life is an illusion, and it doesn't mean it's fake. The word illusion comes from the Latin root word to elude, eludi, which means to play. The fact that life is an illusion is understanding that life is play. To not take life so seriously and to just play along, to play in life, because everything is just a play of perception and cognition. When we look at our life, it's actually just an interpretation that our mind creates. You see, our five senses are what we see, taste, touch, hear, smell, and feel is interpreted by our brain, our mind. And I don't mean just intellect. We take it in, there's an emotional sense, there's an emotional reaction, there's a mental reaction. There is a sense of right and wrong, like or dislike, safe, unsafe, pleasant, unpleasant, comfortable, uncomfortable. There's this dual nature to perceiving the world, to reacting to the world. And it is called a discriminatory mind. And it is here that most people live from, the discriminatory awareness, or known as the reactive mind. And it's purely survival based. When we live just in survival, we look at the world as, is this going to increase my ability to survive, or is this going to hinder my ability to survive? And most morals are actually created on survival values. If something threatens your career, you consider it to be immoral. If something threatens the family structure, you consider it to be immoral. If something threatens the community, the structure of the community, that is considered to be immoral. If something supports the community, supports the family structure, supports your career, supports your life, your vitality, it's considered good. And that's the basis of morality. And mostly we live out of this sense of right and wrong, justification, a sense of superiority, inferiority. Everybody wants to be better than, everybody wants to compete. So this word gets thrown around in this whole idea of alpha male versus the simp male in relation to how does an alpha male get the girl that he wants. You see this in a lot of alpha male philosophies. And how girls, which they just get these skanks from OnlyFans, and I don't know where they get these girls from, but not every woman is like that. There's plenty of good women who are healthy, who are sound, who have respect for their man, who understand the needs of a man and respect his disposition as a husband, as a father, as a provider. Not all women are these cheap, shallow bimbos that only shake their boobs in their ass. And then they're calling the normal guy insecure because he's concerned about the quality of life his family will have by marrying a woman who has this history of promiscuity. it just doesn't make sense. You understand? Their sense of reality, you can tell the vocabulary isn't even well developed. So they don't really have a true understanding of the word insecure. Security versus insecure, the lack of security. Security really denotes a sense of certainty, a sense of knowing, a sense of conviction, a sense of self-worth. Where insecure is the opposite. A lack of self-worth, a lack of confidence, a lack of conviction, a lack of certainty. But it's really based in the context of survival. Meaning that if a guy is not certain of himself, he's not going to have a high degree of survivability. He's not going to have a career that requires a lot of responsibility. Hence, his disposition may be low in life, flipping burgers, or being an office receptionist. Nothing wrong with those, but you get an idea that a man's disposition is based upon his ability to be responsible and his integrity. And there's other skills to have, like leadership qualities, communication, negotiation, things like that, that enable a man to survive more effectively. And this quality is what the girls are talking about that they look for in an alpha male. A man who isn't concerned about what his woman does because he knows that his woman's going to be there for him. But we all know that she is going out to look for other guys. You'll see this all the time in Instagram models. The ones that are married, you'll see months or years that are getting divorced because they're getting messages from guys interested in them. And what happens is the girl will seek outside of the relationship to fulfill her emotional needs, mostly the need to be admired, the attention. It's admiration. Admiration and attention creates validation. And they think the man is supposed to provide it 100% of the time, and they don't have to give anything back to the man. And they say the man that is asking for something in return is insecure, which isn't the case. Insecurity is really a blessing, because if you know how to dance the dance of life, you don't take anything personally, you don't get upset over things, you keep your head cool, you're able to solve situations and resolve problems with ease. And if you don't know, you admit you don't know. You admit you're authentic, you're honest. And there's nothing insecure about that. In fact, the idea of what a man is has become so convoluted that most women will pass up a good man for some kind of narcissistic a-hole, simply because they exude this ultra confidence, which is fake, for a man who actually knows what he's doing. A true alpha will never proclaim himself to be alpha. Remember that. A true alpha will never proclaim himself to be alpha. So you men out there listening to this, trying to find a sense of alphahood, a sense of confidence, think of alpha as a leader, a man who leads other men. A man who manages other people is a leader. A team leader, a supervisor is a leader. A CEO is a leader. A father is a leader of a family. A team coach is a leader of the team. The team captain is a leader of the team. Those are alpha qualities. When you have leadership qualities, you're understanding the needs of the many, not just yourself. A true leader makes his disposition about the people around him, to guide their growth, to guide the outcome of others, because they have a greater vision. And they're able to hold that vision and communicate that vision and enroll everybody into that vision to get them to follow him to fulfill that vision. But he understands his place, that without his team, he would never get there. He understands meeting the needs of the team, fulfilling the needs of the team. What do you need to get the job done? Let me provide for it. They provide. Let me get all the equipment. What do we need as a baseball team? We need new mitts, we need new bats, we need new gloves, we need new baseballs, we need a good field, and they go get it. Often the producer of a song is really the head honcho because they're gathering the engineer, the sound production, they're putting it all together. They're writing the music, and the performer is simply performing the music. It's the producer that is the alpha male, but everyone sees the singer on stage putting on the show thinking they're the head honcho. But it's actually the producer. Often the alpha works behind the scenes. Often the alpha is unseen. The king never is in the public eye all of the time. And it's often the right-hand man that gets the job done, but isn't a great communicator, but it's a great worker. So it gets things done, but can't communicate well with the people, therefore is not popular. The king is more popular because he knows how to communicate. He knows how to negotiate. He knows the politics of the game. You see, life is a game. And you got to understand there are just more and more sophisticated games to play. And you can make yourself more skillful at the game, the family game, the career game, the social game, whatever arena, whatever context you put yourself in. You're not going to be able to fulfill every single context. Just because you can play baseball doesn't mean you're going to be a great baseball player. Just because you're a great lawyer doesn't mean you're going to be a great salesman. Just because you're a great actor doesn't mean you're actually going to know karate to be able to go fight in the UFC. Your skills are going to be your skills, and you're going to excel within the context of which those skills are designed to fulfill. And you stay in your field. You stay in your context. You stay in your realm. And that's where you excel. And when you excel in that realm, whatever it is, stockbroking, being a doctor, being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, being a real estate salesman, whatever world you're in, you do it to the best of your ability. You do it because it fulfills you, not because you want to do it for the money. If you're just doing something for the money, as soon as that money dries up, you're gonna dry up. When you do something that truly gives you fulfillment, it's usually a sense of contribution, a sense of what impact do you want to have in the world, and do it over and over and over and over until you become great at it. And then the wisdom is there. The wisdom, the clarity, the understanding just happens from doing it all of the time, day in and day out. That's how you develop that sense of certainty, that sense of confidence, that sense of knowing. And because you went through the growing process, the learning process, you're able to apply that clarity in any situation. And then you can go into new endeavors and pick them up quickly. People will think you're natural, but actually you cultivated what's called the growth mindset, which can be applied in any arena. So whenever you're good at something, you can go into another endeavor and actually be reasonably good at it. And people think, wow, this guy's got talent. That's how you develop the alpha status. Proving yourself over and over and over again, seeking validation, that's insecurity. The chassis of a narcissist is insecurity. The very need for validation and glamour is insecurity. That's being insecure about yourself. And it's how you deal, how you relate to the emotion of insecurity that determines the outcome. Often high-level performers, high-level business people, high achievers are deeply insecure. Yet they believe they deserve the great things of life. And they want to prove themselves out of that insecurity. And they do. They're driven. That's what drives them, to prove themselves. You can transform that insecurity into high performance. But if you make it only about performance, you're going to push people away. You're going to realize somewhere along the way, that you got to make it about relationships with people. Every leader knows this. Without other people, if you cannot delegate, if you cannot cultivate teamwork, you're an alpha of nothing. You're just a guy with a lot of confidence, but really can't do anything with it. So you want to understand the word insecurity. It's because you embrace the unknown. You transform that insecurity into a sense of adventure, into a sense of excitement for life, or for whatever endeavor you apply yourself to. And as you keep applying yourself, the unfamiliar will become familiar. The unknown will become known. And you will no longer be insecure about it. You'll be very comfortable in the unknown, knowing that you can learn as you go. And that's the secret to overcoming insecurity. If you have problems and challenges and feeling authentic, and you feel like a phony in life, and you feel lost, and you feel scared, and you're in a point in life where you know you deserve more, I can help you with that. I'm a transformational mind coach, and I have 5 steps to my program. The first one is going to be, let's discover what goals that you want. The second one is, let's cultivate the skills you need to fulfill those goals. The third one is going to be developing the mindset, because everything, believe it or not, is in your mind. How you relate to yourself is going to be how you relate to the world. What you believe and conceive becomes the life that you live. And unconsciously, if you're thinking and conceiving negative things, that becomes your life. The fourth one is going to be discipline and consistency. You need to know how to cultivate consistency in your actions, because without consistency, nothing really comes to fruition. And the fifth one is going to be healing. At the root of all lack of commitment is trauma. There's emotional issues that aren't processed. And the reason why you're hesitating, the reason why you're having these issues in life, this lack of confidence, this lack of drive, this feeling insecure, is because of trauma. There's emotional wounding that has not been processed. And I can help you do that because I've gone through my own trials and tribulations of trauma. If you don't process those emotions, your leadership will wane. This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. My contact information will be below because you want to experience fulfillment, freedom, and success in your life. Go ahead and contact me, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening.